On the left, Clayton.
I guess who's going to be the interim coach or coaches the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, we'll operate as a collective unit. Chip will handle the offense, Wink will handle the defense, JB will handle the special teams, but the overall operation coach, Biff Poggi, will stand in as the interim, and it'll be, it'll flow like normal. And obviously, I won't be on the sideline and be there, but how we handle game days with, Chip handling the offense and Wink handling the defense and JB handling the special teams, will feel the same, and our players they'll be ready to go. Yeah, Zeke, very mild lower body injury, so we'll see how he progresses through the week. But he looks good. He was jogging around on the sideline on the second half, but that was more precautionary to make sure nothing's wrong. Who else did you say? Gio.
Yeah.
Gio, we'll see. Look, that's day to day, so we'll take a look at that and see how that looks. And what was the last one you asked? Marlon's looking better. So we'll see what he can do this week. I think he'll practice a little bit Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we'll go from there.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
In the front right here, Aaron.
Rod Moore dressed finally?
Yeah.
Did he return this week?
Yeah, we think there's a good chance that Rod can play this week. So we've been very cautious with him. No one knows their body like Rod does, and he wanted to play in that game, believe me. And just the timeline of what we said and how we wanted to do it wasn't where we fit. So, but high probability that Rod Moore plays in the game on Saturday. But we'll see. We want to make sure the week goes. He feels right. There's nothing that goes on. There's no swelling or anything in his knee, and it's been good these past couple of weeks. So we'll just take it day by day with him. I mean, obviously he's been in the program before. He was a huge help for me when I was the coordinator, online coach at first, and just a general feeling of how the program goes. The knowledge of the players specifically was huge, and then obviously his experience as a high school head coach, as a head coach, but just in general his love for the players, importantly his knowledge of everybody in our building, and keeping the cohesion in the building was huge. And I also wanted our coordinators to be able to do what they do, and continue their jobs as they go through the season. Let me come back and let there be no hiccups and not have to do anything extra. And I think that's going to be important so that they can do that at a high level.
Standing right here, Austin.
Sherrone, will you approach this week as if you were going to coach, or will you have Biff take on more and practice to prepare for that?
Yeah, I'll be here, so I'll be coaching. I'll be coaching hard. So this week's about the how. It's not necessarily the what. So we're going to really attack all the details, and he's always with me. He's always around me, so he's in all the meetings. He's right there by my side, so he sees it. He understands exactly how I feel, and obviously he's not me, but the players have a lot of respect for Biff, and they love Biff. They love being around Biff, so we'll continue to work in that direction. You know what? I was pretty proud of those guys. Zeke had the one double move, and then we had to jump off a penalty, and they threw the deep one, and we didn't reroute it, but overall, man, those guys played really well, especially Jaden Sanders for a freshman. He came into the fourth quarter and never even noticed him. Made a couple of tackles. So pretty proud of what they did. It'd be good to get Shamari Earls back this week, and look like possibly get him and Caleb Anderson back this week. So that'll be huge for the corner depth. But Jair Hill is playing as good as he's ever played. It feels like he's playing at a great level, and he's practiced that way. Zeke's definitely stepping up, and then having guys like Jaden come in and get JoJo back, that's going to be huge for our depth. Consistency, because there's times where there's huge holes, there's times where there's movement, the line of scrimmage, and there's times where there's things that are leaky and loose, and it's got to be consistent. When you play 5 or you play 7 offensive linemen, you've got to have consistency. And there's some things that I thought we could have did, and we've talked about as a staff to come back to that could have combated their defense. And it's a collective thing. It's not just the players, it's not just the coaches, it's everybody together, and we'll continue to work forward to make sure we clean all that stuff up. Yeah, he does. We will at some point. Just you run your quarterback, you better have to. And I've always believed that. Even did that with JJ. JJ wanted to run every game, and I was like, no, you're gonna get hit, you're gonna get hurt, something. So we will, and I think there's parts of that we tried to in that game. They just were pretty good at not letting us because they didn't want him to run. And I think there's ways we can get him to run in different ways and make sure he's protected. So we'll work that as we go game by game and have a strategy for that.